Hello, people of the internet. It's your boy, Skinny Penis, with a extra random replay review, like giga random. Had a pretty good game in the Terrible, so I thought, well, maybe I should share that replay instead of letting it go to waste. And make some money for wargaming, because I can give you a purchase advice for Tier 8 premium ship. Because, yeah, in my opinion, like, obviously the Tier 8 premiums, the DDs are the worth the most and the cheapest. In terms of ship strength, they're worth the most and they're the cheapest to buy. So, yeah, and also if you want to get into gunboats, Terrible is probably the best alternative in terms of premium ships to get into them. Tier 8 one, decently low tier, and yeah, you can just essentially get into the French DD gameplay a bit. Though the Terrible has a few quirks, let's say, because it was like the first French DD that was released. For some reason they never changed the speed boost duration, so it's a very short one. So the duration you see here is with the coal mod, but it's still only 2 minutes 20 seconds or something. So you don't really have speed boost for that long, which makes your use of them, like, or your timings and when you, what times of the game you use them, a bit more interesting or complicated, because something like a Fantasque, like the line itself, or Marceau, obviously they get like a 3-minute something speed boost, way longer. It's a bit easier. And you can't really spec into Superintendent on these. It's a bit of a point waste, given that you have 50 million other skills that you kind of want to. Anyways, this game is obviously very lucky matchmaking. We have tier 8 to tier 6. I mean, yeah, there's a tier 6 submarine, but otherwise there's tier 7s and 8s, which is very nice. The captain is with AFT. It's kind of a Marceau captain, Fearless Brawl AFT. A bit more comfy would be the captain with a 1-point turret traverse skill, but I mean, perfectly, like, respecking for this is kind of meh. So yeah, what I do here is open water flank, just push forward. You can press tab. You see that, for example here, Bliska, Mayhem have shittier conceal than you, or like essentially spotting parity, because they're tier 7 DDs. They don't have access to concealment module. The Benson and the Kagero, the Kagero wouldn't open up most likely, so I can just run at him. The Benson has very floaty arcs, so if I get spotted I can turn away. Here it's very interesting that the submarine actually started pinging me and turned away. And at this stage I commit on him, which is essentially because the 2 BBs are turning away from me. The Bliska originally turned away as well. Now he's coming back. Here you have to be careful, by the way, that you don't get on top of the sub. Like, I purposefully pass next to him. And only when he dives I turn over him, or on top of him. Because he could ram me. You gotta be careful that these submarine scums can actually, if they know they're fucked anyways, because they're shit, trash, and dented, they may actually get the great idea of, like, ramming you out. And in a DD, obviously, even 10k ram damage, or whatever the fuck. I mean, if he runs a ram flag, I probably don't have one on the ship, so yeah. He could theoretically just kill me and end my game here by ramming me, because I have to be kind of on top of him with the depth charges. But yeah, you can go a bit next to him. The French depth charges are generally very decent. I think the Terrible has pretty high alpha, but not a lot of them. It's kind of like Marceau. Those are the best. Decent amount and very, very high alpha is a bit better than like Kleber ones, where you have like 16, but they don't deal that much damage, so you have to be on top of the sub for longer. Which, by the way, also gives the sub more time to maybe go for a ram or go for another shotgun attempt, whatever the fuck. But yeah. The Bliska, bit of a awkward gamer, like open watering me and stuff. But yeah, he doesn't seem to be shooting me. Theoretically, I don't want to be shooting here, by the way, because I don't have speed boost. But I kind of want the Bliska to greed again for me, so then I can reload boost him. Something like you can just shoot battleships at times. Not to, like, actually farm them, but sometimes cruisers and DDs open up at obscene ranges. Generally something I like to do in gunboats. It may look like I'm pulling the classic Bison play, where it's like first BB spotted in your range, you start shooting. But on open water flanks, when you're like the only source of information and you otherwise had to hard light or hard check people in hard light with your DD, shooting and baiting people into shooting back is something that still works. I mean, obviously, if you play against competent players, like in competitive or so, you would never do that. But in randoms, that actually helps. Bliska is spotted again. He's fucking off, so I'm just going to now abuse the NC. What you could see here is that he doesn't run fire prevention, so this is actually a killable NC. If he runs fire prevention with an NC heal, like the North Carolina also has an improved heal, like the Iowa and the Montana. I think even the Colorado gets it already. It's becoming very unfeasible for me to farm these people down, because I only go through a small amount of pens on superstructure, which they can't heal. Like, they can't heal 50% from the penetrations, which isn't a lot really, because they saturate anyways. But my fire damage, they could fully heal, and they have improved heals, so only having one fire doesn't net you enough damage quickly over time that you can actually out-DPM him alone. Because I'm like the only one shooting him here, so yeah. But since he has no fire prevention, I can actually shoot him here and kill him. To be fair, otherwise you'd probably... I mean, in this situation, you would most likely shoot one of the BBs. Because you have AFT, you're pretty decent at range. You kill the submarine, so you have nothing else left on the flank that could outspot you, because the Bliska has spotting parity and no saturation like I do. So even if I have similar HP, I can always keep like a reload boost ready, kind of, or not. Don't even necessarily need to. I just need to be cautious that the moment he tries to go for me, I can either disengage if it's unfavorable, or I can just commit and kill on him. But yeah, generally, if you see that, for example, if you get like tier 10 matchmaking here, or this NC and the Nagano and everything would play fire prevention, you're not going to ever farm them down, so it may be advisable to get the Bliska out as well, if he's trying to zone for them. If not, I mean, you can ignore him and go for torpedoes first. It's generally something, if there's no radar cruiser, no cruiser with high DPM or DD around, and you have very healthy battleships, it's sometimes very, very helpful to just go and get 1 or 2 torpedoes, get the DCP out, get some alpha, and then use the reload boost for insta-permas. Because, yeah, as I said, like, otherwise if I sit at 13, 14 km here and I farm them down, I'm not going to really, like, farm them quickly. I mean, thankfully, yeah, we don't know how to spec our BBs, so both of them don't use fire prevention here, by the way. So yeah. Bliska opens up, so that's what I said, you gotta be ready for it. So I'm trying to dodge the shells, trying to go dark again. I'm caught nose in towards the BBs. They showed signs of trying to shoot me a lot, so I don't really want to risk more HP here. As you can see, the game is extremely disadvantageous for us. My team suicided fairly effectively in the middle and on the other side. So there's barely anything left from my team, and the enemy still has a lot of very healthy battleships. There may be also a full HP or very healthy Baltimore in the middle. I can't see him yet. The other side I haven't even looked at this stage. But yeah, it's not really a great situation. By the way, here you can see, like, could actually commit on him at range. I even ignored the Bliska for that. Because killing the NC here is better than letting him run away and get 2 or 3 more heals off, depending on what spec he runs. Because if he comes back then with the other BBs, I'm never going to be able to kill any of them, unless I hit like mad torpedoes and they're running at me. On that note, by the way, the Terrible compared to the Fantasque, because some people may wonder why you should buy a Terrible and why I would say that Terrible is still worth. Terrible has base 1 second better reload. And it trades for the better gun performance, or like better DPM, which is a lot, 1 second less base. It trades torpedo damage. It also gets better torpedo reload, I think. It has a worse torpedo damage. It trades a bit of concealment. You have 6-7, Fantasque gets 6-2, 6-3, something like that. It is a bit easier to play. You have less range, base range, so AFT is actually something you probably need on this. Like, I could run the Clap Captain on it, but I don't really like the limited range if I get tier 9 or 10 matches. Secondary BBs are just too common these days. So the 12.3 I think it was, base range of it, don't really work anymore. So yeah. Here I just like focused down the Baltimore because I caught him flat. By the way, the AP is obviously, in terms of fighting tier 6 to tier 8 cruisers, extremely potent. Like you can citadel a lot of tier 6 to... like tier 6 and 7 cruisers, you can citadel pretty much all of them, even at medium to long range. But even the tier 8 cruisers, as you saw, take a lot of AP damage. So, and they don't have heals, so poking them if they turn with for like 15-20k AP with a reload boost is just obviously like the crazy strength of this ship. Other than that, like the reload boost is obviously winning you DD trades, or it's setting permafires immediately after DCPs. So this is like when you use your reload boost, flat cruisers, DD fights after DCPs. You only have 4, so here for example, I'm not going to be using one on the Scharnhorst, even if he DCPs, because there's still 3 DDs running around, and I only have 10k HP. And most of these DDs probably have smokes. I mean, 2 of them definitely have them, Mayhem and Bliska. So they could theoretically smoke up in front of me, and I could still be lit because of my AFT spec especially. So then I have to get rid of them extremely fast, so I don't have to trade more HP into them. So that's why I keep one of them. But yeah, so I mean, that's kind of the strength of the French DDs here. Like I can sit at insane ranges. I still have my speed boost, so at this stage he's not going to be able to really hit me. But you can already see what the problem is in about 30 seconds with 8.5 minutes left on the clock. We're going to run out of speed boosts already, and that is with me already having a bit of time, or like putting a bit of time in between my second and third one, because I didn't need to use it immediately. So yeah, it's a bit fucked with the speed boost duration. Obviously you just get 3-4 more minutes on Fantasque for the other French DDs. Maybe they're going to change it, but I probably would assume they're never going to change it back. So yeah. Kill the Scharnhorst. I mean, obviously it was better for me here to get into the base. It doesn't really make sense here to keep chasing. Like I could finish the NC, but I cannot finish the other BBs, especially not with the Bliska. And I mean, you can also see the Kagero could come back to base. So that's 2 DDs that can smoke and that can zone me, while I'm essentially without a smoke and I have to force kills on battleships. Or I have to force kills on DDs while the battleships are looking at me. So very unlikely you actually achieve shit there. And we're down ships anyway, so our only hope of winning this game is pretty much waiting until they push into us. Like if you're down bad in terms of ships and HP and stuff, the only way you win these games is if you essentially gamble on the fact that the enemy is probably over pushing into your home cap, objective, team, whatever, and you give yourself some time to farm them and you hope they overcommit. Otherwise, there's no real way for me to win this. So they're going through the channel, which is pretty nice. Like here's finally the situation where you can use the torps. The torps are extremely good if people push into you. Here I use immediately the reload booster. In this scenario, by the way, I also didn't really need to use the reload boost, but I wanted to kill the guy. Okay, I was expecting the DD to be in the smoke and the Benson to proxy spot him. And the Benson had a lot of HP, so I kind of wanted to help the Benson kill the DD instantaneously so the Benson can go dark. I didn't want the battleships to nuke the Benson, because I kind of need him. I need him against either the Kagero and Udine to bait him and kill them with him. But I also need him to remove both of those full HP BBs. Like, I can't really kill them on my own, even though I get really lucky here with the torpedoes. Like, first of all, I make the Nagato turn flat to Benson Torps and make him DCP. And I also hit 2 torpedoes on the Amagi, so I never have to draw the DCP out with my HE and then keep shooting him for permafires, so I can cut down the time that I need to farm him. And the Benson had Torps actually on the Nagato. I mean, the Benson here will still die. He's in the mouth of 50 ships. Interestingly enough, the Nagato shoots me. But, I mean, in the end, it doesn't matter. He's literally inside of battleships. For some reason, he didn't turn out in the smoke and run away. But yeah, as you can see, the Amagi is... like, I can get full information now on the submarine, the Bliska, and the Amagi. So now I have to kill the Amagi first. He has no DCP, and he's also the one that could end my life here. And then afterwards, it's me versus 2 DDs in a shitty low tier 6 submarine. So I should be able to win 1v1s or even 1v2s there. So yeah, we get the Magi here on insta permafires, which is essentially what you want to do in the French DD in general. That's what I said with the torpedoes. This is kind of the situation that's best for you. If they push, you stay dark, you use your speed, go in front of them. You have 9 torpedoes. You can send them and you only need to hit 1 to get most likely, or the DCP out most likely, and then get the permas and actually kill them. The torpedoes are obviously completely unusable if people kite from you. But yeah, if they push into you or if you rush, they're obviously a great tool. So keep in mind that the Terrible set has less torpedo alpha than the Fantasque. Like the Fantasque is a disgusting rusher on tier 8. It kind of one-shots everything tier 8 and below. Terrible has, yeah, you can one-shot everything kind of too, but you can, only if you hit like all torpedoes you can one-shot full HP BBs. Yeah, so this guy for some reason being dented. Obviously it's pretty good as a tier 6 sub. They don't have that concealment that I have. That tier 8 subs have, so he can't really outspot me. We're already on 6 kills, by the way. I mean, obviously, given the matchmaking, you expect a lot of kills and impact here. The battleships have essentially no means of really killing me with my spec, because I have AFT, I can just sit at range. The DDs have a very hard time engaging me in any case. The only way I can get fucked by them is if they catch me. I shoot, they smoke up, and then I'm too close and they can farm me from smoke. But very few DD players actually manage to pull that off correctly, even though it's so simple. Just trade a bit of HP, get the enemy French DD or like no smoke DD to shoot. Smoke at the same time, slow it down, and then watch until, or like watch him be spotted from your teammates and you can trade. And the submarines are kind of the only problem for me. If they are able to shotgun me, I mean, the Udine is never a problem, most likely, but the U-190 could be an issue if he knows what he's doing, but yeah, at this stage, tier 8 and 9 BBs, no wait, tier 6 and 9 submarines are most likely people that have no clue, and they're like randomly grinding a subline, but they're just shit. So here, I'm very confused as to where the DDs went, because they left cap, but they're also like not torping the Hyuga. From time to time I check if there's torpedoes running past him or something. But it's kind of weird where those people went. So I assume maybe even the Kagero is AFK. But in this scenario, it's kind of like we're down 50 points, so I either need to catch one of them or I need to block their cap. And with 2 minutes 50 left, I can probably get into their cap fast enough. I even write it, I try to catch one or otherwise I block. So I'm actually going for their cap and I'm just trying to block it. Obviously there's a risk that the Kagero is somewhere. Yeah, well, now he's in my mouth, so he dies. That I didn't expect, but doesn't really matter. But he could have been on like 8-9 line and then touch cap with his concealment against the Hyuga. But yeah, he just runs into me for some reason and dies. I still continue for the cap now, though I'm lit, so yeah. RPF would be cool here, but you're 2 points starved for that. I mean, you could switch Fearless Brawl for RPF, but it doesn't really give you that much, to be fair. I don't really like RPF on French DDs, because the only way you use that is mid to late game and DD 1v1s, because you can actually run them down. The issue is you probably don't have enough HP to just run headfirst at the DD. But yeah, I mean, that's in those situations it works if you want to really hunt down DDs on purpose. So yeah, could have been already an 8 or 9 kill game. I don't think I didn't get the Nagato and I didn't get the Mage, but we're going to end up getting this guy out here. The Hyuga hits him pretty bad. He hits him also with a few more secondaries, and I managed to hit like 1 or 2 shells at range here. So I'm ending up with a 8 kill game. And yeah, it's just something that I did in the past, like play these tier 8 premium DDs, especially Terrible, from time to time, because it's actually quite fun to play like Cossack Kid or Terrible into these kind of matchmakings. You're obviously horrendously kind of broken if you know what you're doing in tier 7-8 matchmaking. So you can see like 20 fires. With AFT I can just farm for free. We have lots of spotting, to be fair, as well. Obviously not a lot of spotting damage. You can kill the sub, like French DDs are notoriously cracked at hunting down subs, because you actually have the speed and maneuverability to hunt them if you catch them singled out. I mean, obviously you can't run at them if their team sits behind them and fucks you. Yeah, my team obviously great impact from more than half of them doing 0. I mean, even those people did very little. and I could just run around the map and fuck people. Yeah, generally like very fun and engaging in my opinion. Yeah, spotting damage is like barely anything. I never had really ships behind me or around me that dealt damage. I mean, you can see it, for example, NC. I spotted him all the time, but no one dealt damage to him. So, yeah, that's also the reason why I like, or Amagi. Like, that's the reason why I like gun DDs way more than torpedo or spot DDs. Because this is what happens. I'm spotting the enemy team from start to finish, but my team is incapable of dealing the damage. So it's better that you yourself improve in terms of damage output and play damage output, heavy damage output destroyers in that sense, gunboats, to get the damage in yourself, not rely on the team, and just be done with it. Because it's very unlikely that your team is going to win you the game. Well, anyway, this is it. It's a fun little game. The fires are probably the most toxic shit. But yeah, that's what happens when you get tier 7 8 BBs. They don't have the fire coefficient to really tank your HE. It gets a bit more frustrating against tier 10 battleships with a tier 8 DD like Terrible, because you don't boast the incredible DPM and fire chance that you need to burn them down. As I said, with the NC and fire prevention, if you have a tier 10 BB with fire prevention like a Montana, it gets completely out of control. Like, you will never kill it. So you have to switch up your gameplay a whole lot and actually try to go for torpedoes maybe. Also focus more on caps, DD fights and spotting first, because you can save your average, but it's essentially what gives you're giving an enemy bot in a Montana maybe, or like in a BB, a lot of value by doing nothing but pressing heal and DCP from time to time, because he's taking you out from the game. You're permanently spotted and farming something that you will never kill. So yeah, always keep that in mind. Also, you make yourself extremely susceptible if you farm for too long in sketchy positions. Enemy DDs could sneak up on you and fuck you. It's kind of what I like to do in a Terrible or a Kleber, Mogador, something with a reload boost that's fast and has shitty conceal. If the enemy gunboat is spotting himself on purpose, then so be it. I can run towards him and then shit my reload boost into his mouth. I get the jump on him because I know where he is. He's shooting in my face. And I can go towards him and just reload boost him, which wins me the trade immediately. So you have to be careful that other people are not pulling that on you. So yeah, always keep in mind what's around you. And to be fair, in the beginning, yeah, for example, the first reload boost was essentially a waste on the Bliska, but I have to get him off my broadside and I have to make him turn away, go dark, or either smoke. It's just what you have to do. So also, like, using reload boosters too fast on battleships for no reason is a bit sketch. Especially when there's DDs around. So yeah, this is definitely a boat you can buy. I think also with a doubloon coupon, again, I said it in the other video where I talked about it, it's extremely cheap and affordable to buy these tier 8 DDs, and they're insanely strong. They're also the best premium ships on tier 8 that scale with matchmaking, or like that scale very well with being bottom tier, because you can still do a lot in a Kid, Cossack, Terrible, even though you're in tier 10 matchmaking. So yeah. Maybe you think about it. Maybe you try to get into French DDs with the Terrible. Makes sense, in my opinion. Commander-wise, I can't show it now because it's a replay, but yeah, it's an AFT concealment fearless brawl, and to be fair, you can probably get you can get kind of the same gameplay if you drop fearless brawl. It's just a bit more DPM, so you only need a 17-point commander on it, which is also very comfortable. And if you get an 18-point commander, but you're not really like looking forward to grinding so much that you get 21, you can put the next point into turret reverse, first pointer, which makes it way more comfortable. Like not having turret reverse on these slow single gun turrets is a bit of a problem in DD fights, or especially if you get caught by DDs. So yeah, that is probably my advice. The AFT is kind of needed though, because yeah, if you meet something like a Schlieffen, a GK or something on tier 10, you're going to suffer if you don't have AFT. Like, you're not going to pretty much help out at all. You're just going to get fucked inside a secondary range. Well, that's about it. See you for the next random replay review that is going to come somewhere in the future. And enjoy yourself with maybe a few Terrible games. Adios, friends.